Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a lovely weekend so far. Oh my gosh, guys. First off, thank you for accommodating my ever-changing schedule. I was supposed to be live last night, but then this amazing opportunity just kind of presented itself, and I couldn't really say no. So I'm going to tell you guys all about that, but I figured I'd jump in. I'd say what's up, and yeah. And then this is going to be, so really when we get into it, guys, I'm going to tell my little story and show my little pictures and all that kind of stuff. But really when we get into it, like the thumbnail says and the description and all that, this is basically going to be like you guys. I mean, I feel like you guys guide the discussions quite a bit, but this is literally going to be like chat controls the stream as far as the topics that we discuss. And I'm going to be try to be really good about discussing them for about 10 to 15 minutes each. I figure we can get a handful through. So right now, if you haven't voted yet, there is a poll up there just asking you what you want the first topic of discussion to be tonight. So just let me know. I think what I'm going to do is the number 2 is going to be like recycled into the next poll, something like that. So we'll figure out a way to like, kind of give these things a couple chances. I also have a super chat goal going. If you guys want to keep this thing rolling and do a little bit more, I mean, in a way, like you guys earned this. This is a bonus stream that you guys earned for the super chat goal that was reached during Hit the Bricks on Tuesday. So first off, thank you so very much for making that happen. So I'm going to give you guys, we're going to give you the meat of the show. If you want to keep on going, I know it's late, but if you want to keep on going and we reach that goal, then we'll just keep on going. How about that? And then I guess before I say what's up to everybody, I just want to remind you guys, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell, all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you dig the experience here and you like the conversation in the chat and also the discussion that we're having here, in the studio or whatever, if you like your host, okay, feel free to, let people know about the channel. That's the way that the channel grows. And we've been seeing some awesome growth lately. A big part of that is how awesome you guys are. So thank you very much. And I just want to keep on encouraging that moving forward. And if you're watching after the fact, thank you so much. You're a total rock star. Also hit that like button and jump into the comments. Give me any and all thoughts you've got based on whatever you heard throughout this discussion here. So yeah, guys, vote in that poll there. Your options for first topic are Maximum Overdrive First Timer Review. I just saw it for the very first time like 2 nights ago, something like that. There's also the sad state of Scream fandom, which, I mean, yeah, we've been talking Scream a lot here. If you guys really, really want me to, I'll keep it, again, there'll be a little bit of a time limit. We can pull up a stopwatch and all that stuff. Public domain horror, A Rant, is winning right now with 41% of 17 votes. And that's kind of the one that I'm sort of jazzed about. And then Start Bench Cut, which is really fun. It's like Fuck, Marry, Kill. I just use sports terminology instead because I like sports. Not that I don't like to fuck, marry, and or kill, but yeah, well, sports more so, at least for the last thing. Anyways, moving on, we're gonna say what's up to you guys here hanging out in the chat, and then we'll get rolling with that. Whatever topic is winning right now, it's very tight. 28% each for Maximum Overdrive and the sad state of Scream fandom, 39% for Public Domain. So that one looks to be the one. But it is ever changing. So I'm going to say what's up to you guys, and then we'll get rolling here. Erica, I saw something about me being an hour behind in the chat. Don't worry. I really am just going to say, what's up to everybody, before we jump into the main thing here. And guys, of course, if there's something that you really want me to talk about or cover, you can throw the super chat out there. If I miss it, I just might miss it. So it's nothing personal. I just want to let you guys know. Sometimes I just don't miss it, or it's way off topic, whatever. What's happening, Ghost? Good to see you. Thank you so much for popping on in. We got Antonis Andriotis, one of our great channel members, hanging out. What's happening, Antonis? Ghost, I did see that. You know what? I looked that up and I can't find any confirmation, and nothing against any of the, YouTubers. Some of them might have inside information. I don't know. Like, I'm, too busy with my own channel to dive in. I just confirmed and official. I like to reserve those words for when like a massive publication says it and it's like out there. But yeah, I mean, they've been quietly working on it in the background for a while. So we've known that for months now. We got Miss Steph. How's it going, Miss Skittles? What's up, late night creeps? We are creeping. That's what we're doing. Thank you for jumping on in, Steph. Appreciate you. Who else do we have here? Whoa, Ghost, you are blowing up the chat, my guy or gal. I don't even really know. So yeah, let me sift through here. There we go. We got Miss Erica. Oh my gosh, Erica, that icon is wild and awesome. I don't think I've seen that one yet. That's really, really cool. Erica's one of our channel members and a Death Squad mod. She's our mama mod over on the Discord channel. Erica is great. Yes. If Erica gives you the business in the chat, you should just listen to her. There you go. Ooh, iconic Deathray. Okay, there we go. I'll take it. I will take it. We got Aaron Click in the house. What's happening, Aaron? So great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate you. We got Jigsaw jumping on in with the very first super chat of $2. It has begun. Or something like that. I don't know. Little Shang Tsung kind of action there. We got Eli Cortez, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. What's happening, Eli? We got Miss Julie Lynn. What's happening, Julie? Thank you so much for joining us. One of our great channel members. I think one of the random gifts. Like, I'm able to gift 10 memberships a month. They just kind of go out there. I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously, I would imagine you've watched the channel at least once or they wouldn't give you a membership. But so happy to have you along for the ride here, Julie. And yeah, hope the weekend's treating you well. We got Zach jumping on in. What's happening, Zach? So good to see you as well, sir. We got the OG mod, the mama mod, Miss Jamie Hart, and another one of our great channel members. Hope you're doing well there, Jamie. All right, who the heck else do we have going on in here? Holy cow, we got Tia Nina, another one of our great channel members. What's happening? Tia, are you still mad at me about the concert last night? I hope you're not. We're going to talk about it. A little bit of that. I'm going for an 80s thing, and I just decided to keep it because I liked the aesthetic. I wanted to do at least one more. I mean, maybe if I have like Garrett from Born to Be Rad or Mel from My Killer Podcast on, this would be like the great this would be the perfect background and everything. But whenever I'm talking, I loved it so much for the 86 thing for the anniversary. And then I just decided to stay with it. I don't know. I like it. But yeah, Taco Bell 90s, that too, for sure. We got Jigsaw dropping another $2 super chat. Says the host with the most. Thank you so much, Jiggy. Really do appreciate you. We got Scratch Burno hanging out. What's happening, Scratch? So good to see you. What's everyone up to for the weekend? Anything exciting? Anything fun? Anything random? Anything that has happened that wasn't on your bingo card for 2026 that has happened? Because I had that happen yesterday. All right, we got Erica Stabs for likes dropping in a $2 super chat. Says petition for a 90s t-shirt to match the colors. I know it's not quite 90s. I'm wearing my Haddonfield radio t-shirt. I really like this channel. So it's not quite 90s, but I really love the shirt. They were so cool to send me some free shit. Holy cow, free shit. It's wild. We got Matt Facci from Facci's Cinema, one of our great channel moderators jumping on in. What's happening, Maddie? Hope you're doing well. I am just stud muffin it up for you. Stud muffining up, right? Something muffining it up. There we go. That's what it is. Yeah, whatever, Matt. That's what it is. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Hope the weekend is treating you well. We got Gorehound Gazette dropping a tenner. Holy cow. Thank you so much, Gorehound. Really appreciate you. Says, regarding you saw Maximum Overdrive, I am so sorry. Granted, the first 10 minutes are epic, but it went downhill fast once the main cast assembled in the gas station. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that, huh? I guess I should just call it right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Maximum Overdrive and the Sad State of Scream fandom are tied right now. It seems like you guys want me to talk about 3 of these. let me know just really quick in the chat with like a thumbs up or a heart or whatever kind of like emoji you got. Let me know. Do you want me to just do these in order? Maximum Overdrive, Sad State of Scream Fandom, and then a public domain horror rant? Because got a lot of a nice chunk of votes there in that pocket. Yeah, let me jump back on over here. Thank you so much for the tenor, Gorehound. Really do appreciate you. I notice it, man. Every time you jump in here, you're so supportive and engaging and awesome. And I just, I appreciate that so much. You guys, I mean, everyone has been amazingly supportive lately. I feel like the last couple weeks have been, it just feels like something is a little bit different. I hope it's like, to me, it feels like a good different. So yeah, I'm liking that. We got Antonis Andriotis dropping a membership chat. And that's right, guys. If you are a channel member, I think it's once every month you've been a member, you get this free membership chat. It allows us to kind of celebrate how long you've been a member, and it's sort of like a super chat where we get to highlight it, and you guys get my little, you know, it's like your hand waving for a little more attention, well-deserved attention, albeit. And Antonis asks, will Scary Movie 6 have a Ghostface spoof killer like the first one? Well, yeah, he's all over. Have you seen the trailer yet, Antonis? It's really funny. They changed one or two of the jokes at the end of the trailer from when it was in the theater with Scream. So with Scream 7, they make a Scream 6 joke at the end of the trailer, but then the trailer that I've seen has a totally different joke. I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, the Ghostface spoof is right there, front and center, absolutely. Although it looks like he is going to be, you know, they're still going to be using stuff like from Jordan Peele movies and stuff. It'll just be like Ghostface that will be the, you know, the physical representation of the bad stuff. Thank you so much for being a channel member, Antonis. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, just want to make sure I'm not missing saying hello to anyone. We got King Matthew III. Unfortunately, he can't join. Well, thank you for saying what's up. I hope you have a beautiful night's sleep, and hopefully we'll catch you sometime soon, King Matthew. Nicholas Woodall, what's happening, Nicholas? Thank you so much for joining on in, man. Yes, twice. I was holding back on a third because I wanted to go with a buddy of mine and his girl. They weren't able to go this weekend, so we might go next weekend. So I'll probably see it for, I really want to check it out in the Dolby Cinema. So I'll probably go check it out in the Dolby here pretty soon. What's happening there? Joe from Media Poop Shoot, one of our great channel members. Guys, if you have not subscribed over to Media Poop Shoot, check out Joe's channel. Someone feel free to. Eli has probably already dropped Joe's link in the chat, and I'm just behind. That's the way Eli operates, I'm sure. I love that he's like, hey, Poop Shoot. I would love for somebody should let's call Joe Poop Shoot in public. Hey, what's up, Poop Shoot? Like it's a high school nickname or something. On the back of a jersey, Poop Shoot. All right. We got a Jiggy dropping at $2, says it's Mambo number 5. There we go. Is that the 5th one already? Thank you so much, Jiggy. Really do appreciate you. Holy shit, halfway there. Oh my goodness, you guys are amazing. We got Prince joining us as well. Talking a little Big Trouble. Yeah, I dropped a short about that because we talked movies from 1986. God, I love that movie. That's, you know, guys, I did a watch party, just me looking at the screen, commenting on this movie. One of my most viewed live streams on the channel. It's so funny to me. That thing keeps on getting views. It's wild. It's wild. People love Big Trouble in Little China, and rightly so. What's happening, Jen? So good to see you. Thank you for joining us. How does one become a channel member on Facebook? I don't know how to do it on Facebook. I'm actually really dumb on that stuff. I know how to do it on my computer, and that's it. But I think you can do it on your phone on the YouTube app. But I don't know. Usually when I try to figure that stuff out, Jen, I just like do a Google search. But I don't know if you can through Facebook. I'm not sure. Not sure about that. But thank you so much for joining us over on Facebook. Yeah, guys, we're live on Facebook too, because I figure at some point, some of my classmates, in fact, some of them have jumped on in. They'll be like, what this guy? Of course this guy is talking. Of course this guy is on YouTube talking about shit You know, he found someone to talk to about his weird shit. Like I you know, and I say that in the most loving way. I'm very aware that I have strange interests and a motor mouth that just won't stop. Joe from Media Poop Shoot dropping a $2 super chat says, hope everyone is having a great night. Hi, Erica. Is this, you're like, hi, Erica. Now I'm going to go. Now Joe is going to sneak on over to the Discord, which is free and really fun to hang out. But Joe's going to go over there on the Discord. He's going to post something in a channel that it doesn't belong just because he's bought a little credit with Erica. I think that's what's going on here. I could be wrong, but I have a suspicion that it really is, you know, it's a kind of a hit and run sort of move here. It's a little bit of a smoke screen. Joe, thank you for the 2. Appreciate you. I vetoed watching Big Trouble in Little China as a date night movie with X. You vetoed it. I really like it. I guess you don't like it. I guess you don't like it. Okay. No worries, Tia. No worries. Or maybe you like it so much and he just wasn't worthy. I don't know. Maybe you can fill us in on that story. Holy cow, 28 people hanging out. Guys, it is almost 12:30 a.m. out on the East Coast. And what? Everyone is moving times. You guys are moving, springing forward, right? Yeah, we don't change in Arizona, but everyone changes around us. So what? In about an hour and a half, you guys are changing. So, you know, we'll get you out of here before the time change. Don't worry about it. Well, there you go. You're already a member on YouTube. Oh, of course. Yes. Jen. Yes. I don't know if you can do it on Facebook, but that's okay. We love having you as a channel member on YouTube. So that definitely counts. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump back on over, take a look at the poll really quick here. I might have missed something. Are you guys, no one is exempt from correct channel posting? I've gotten pretty good about it, haven't I, Erica? I don't think I've fucked that one up for a while. A month, I don't know. A month for me not fucking that up on Discord is a while. So okay, I guess we'll just kind of go through each one of these. Are you guys cool with that? I don't know if I missed you guys giving thumbs up or let me know like what's what, but let's see here. Let's do, I'm just gonna build the little banners as we go. So okay, here we go. We're gonna do Maximum Overdrive first timer review. Oh, I was a first timer. Guys, I lost my Maximum Overdrive V card. Let's get that up there. Yeah, so some of you may not know, and others probably do know. I'm trying to watch 365 movies this year that I've never seen before. And, you know, I've seen, so as of now on Letterboxd, I have logged almost 2,100 films that I've seen in my lifetime. So that's pretty all right. That's a pretty good average. I'm probably, you know, obviously I haven't logged everything. I've like sifted through pages and pages and pages, try to remember every movie, you know, and we've gotten to the point now where like I'll add one here or there that's like, oh yeah, I've seen that years and years ago or whatever. But now I am trying to knock off some of these movies on my list that, yeah, I just have missed throughout the years and that I've known of. And yeah, it'll just be cool. Kind of, I'm such a rewatcher. I am such a creature of habit. I find a lot of comfort in rewatching things and analyzing them and poring over every detail. So I'm trying to just do a little something different and, you know, try to become a more well-rounded like fan or just like student of the genre, whatever you want to say. So anyways, in an effort to do that, I am prioritizing watching first time or, you know, movies that are first time watches for me. So I checked out Maximum Overdrive the other night, you know, written by and directed by Stephen King. And it was all right. It has an interesting premise. I like where they're going with it. There's not much they can do with it because of the year that it was made. I do really enjoy Emilio Estevez quite a bit, especially in this era. There was something that was just a little edgier about him that I really dug. I love Pat Hingle. You know, he was Commissioner Gordon in the Tim Burton, you know, Batman movies. I think he even played him in the Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. I think so. Anyways, always really enjoyed him as well. And yeah, this is just like a short story pretty much turned into a film. You know, a very simple idea of a comet that goes by, and for about 8 days, all of the machinery is sentient and really aggressive and selfish. So yeah, you know, you have these people pitted against electrical appliances and of course the vehicles, which become like the main bad guys of the movie. There were a couple moments of, you know, just like kind of like startling gore where I was like, oh damn, like, you know, a couple of those sorts of moments, but nothing that really like, I don't know, nothing that really sustained my interest in like in a really big way. Like comparatively, I watched Pet Sematary from '89 for the first time before seeing Maximum Overdrive like the next night. So yeah, compared to Pet Sematary '89, this is gonna look pretty, you know, just pretty all right. But it was a fun enough time. I'm happy I watched it. The AC/DC soundtrack is fun. I like when a musician does a soundtrack, or like, you know, solo artist or a band or something does a soundtrack. I think it's pretty cool. And, you know, other than the tracks that they, you know, enlisted for the soundtrack, they do some really fun little score elements. Anytime there's like, they kind of do their own version of the Psycho like strings, like the re, but they do like, you know, the rock and roll version when the, you know, when the vehicles attack and all that stuff. So the movie was fun. Glad I knocked it off the list. Don't know if or when I will revisit it. But yeah, a movie that knows what it is. I don't think it was trying to be anything that it wasn't. It turns into a little bit of a bunker style movie, but nothing that has like the tension of, you know, Night of the Living Dead or anything like that. There are moments where they probably could have pushed it and, you know, reached that sort of tension, but you know, moments sort of like boil and fizzle really quick. There's not much of a simmer as far as like the dread or the tension goes, but yeah, a good popcorn flick. So there you go. I think I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. I think that's fair for what it is. There you go. There's your Davey Deathray first timer review of Maximum Overdrive. Okay, how about it? How about it? Chat controls the stream. Let me take a little break for a little sip of water. Yes. And then next up, it looks like you guys want me to talk about the sad state of the Scream fandom. Don't worry, I won't drone on forever and ever on that one. I think we all kind of know, you know, what I'm going to say here. Excuse me, I have an itchy eye. I have a hot ear. Okay, let me catch up with you guys here in the chat. Duly noted, Erica. Thank you so much. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, vetoed it because A Star Was Born the previous. Oh, he vetoed A Star Was Born. Okay, well, fuck that guy. All right, let's see here. No worries, Jen. I've always been a night owl, so you know, my brain starts like really humming at about this time of night. Plus, it's not as late where I am, you know, out here in AZ. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Oh, we got Antonis Andriotis dropping a $4.99 super chat just cuz. Thank you so much, Antonis. Really do appreciate you. Singing the Mambo number 5 up there. All right, I love it. Man, that song was big. What year was it? I was in high school. I don't know if like sophomore or something like that. Jiggy is fun. Jiggy is fun. Oh man, Emilio's so great. Loaded Weapon 1. If you haven't seen Loaded Weapon 1, holy shit, that movie is so good. Look at that. Tia Nina is celebrating 4 months of channel membership. Thank you so much, Tia. Holy cow, has it been? Wow, I guess that makes sense, Tia, because guys, again, I'll mention the Discord. When we watch movies over on Discord, not that Tia isn't a total laugh riot in the chat right here on YouTube. I'm able to pay attention to her more on the Discord side of things. And I jump in the chat too. We usually watch movies and we all make little cracks and stuff. And oh my God, Tia is so fucking hilarious in the chat. I mean, everyone has their moments, absolutely. But Tia sort of came in out of nowhere and I was like, oh my God, this chick's really fucking funny. You know, hey, I was pretty good on that Maximum Overdrive thing, so I think I can be pretty good on the Scream stuff. Death Becomes Her is a good movie if you haven't seen it. You know, I saw it when I was a little kid, like my parents rented it. So I don't remember. It's almost as if I haven't seen it. But I do remember seeing it, and yeah, good like dark comedy. Yeah, for sure. It's got a classic, like iconic cover art for sure. Thank you so much for sharing that, Erica. Yeah, the Discord's free and it's really fun. I got to get back in there and get more active. I've just been really inundated with work, and then of course with the channel. 99. Okay, so yeah, I was a junior that year. All right, there we go. Dude, that movie is so fucking funny. Oh my god. Okay, so let's talk about what is the topic called? The sad state of Scream fandom. That's oh my goodness. Okay, let's do that. Let's talk about that. The sad state of Scream fandom. Holy cow, you guys, how sad is it? I've had some time to think about this, and you know, we've talked a lot about the newest movie, so I'm gonna do my best to just talk about the fandom, you know, and as it relates to just the franchise on a whole. What's going on with us here with this franchise? Why do we feel like there need to be lines drawn in the sand or divisions made? Why do we get so worked up about it? I don't know. I don't really know. I feel like at some point there's an undercurrent of a movement in this world that we live in this country, global society, whatever, to eventually turn everything into something that's political and something that's like, oh, if you're part of this team, this is how you have to feel about like this list of items. And that people can't like have their beliefs, you know, religious or not even just religious, like political or whatever, like they can't have them a la carte. They have to buy in or subscribe to, you know, a very limited amount or amounts of doctrines, you know. It just seems like that's kind of the way these things are going. So unfortunately that has crept into what we're seeing here with Scream, and probably like I understand like the main reason, the impetus for part of the fracture, but now it seems like with the release of the new movie, we're just seeing it ratchet up as far as ugliness goes. And I think one thing that we forget as Scream fans is that this is a franchise that is so much more different than the other franchises that we love. There are franchises in this fandom that we feel ownership over, and we absolutely do have ownership over them. Like, we are the ones that keep these franchises alive. Even something like Halloween. Like, Halloween is pretty mainstream, but I still think the fans are responsible for it continuing the way that it has. Friday the 13th, that belongs to us. A Nightmare on Elm Street belongs to us. Like, all of these things we have ownership over, and I think we feel that way about Scream, and I just don't think it's necessarily true to the same degree, because I think Scream is such a pop culture phenomenon that it goes way beyond just horror fans. Like, people that have never really ventured further out than Scream might love Scream. That might be really all they know. And it's even at the point where I see people that are wearing like Scream stuff, maybe, you know, like kids, like high school-ish age, and it's at the point where it's like wearing a Ramones shirt, where it's like, that was just at Target and they just bought that, and they know what it is, but they don't know what it is. And so when we think about these focus groups and the Coda ending that was filmed, that, you know, somehow, or, you know, I guess it confirmed that Stu was back or whatever, and they didn't use it because the test audience didn't like it. Even if those test audience people weren't like diehard Scream fans, the people that made Scream a $1 billion franchise, which is one of 7 horror franchises that has made $1 billion or more in the box office, the reason why is those fans, or that group of fans. That's the reason why. So we do take these things a little personally. My recommendation is if you're, if you find yourself taking things personally that really have nothing to do with you, and that you had nothing to do with, as far as like, the people that have taken it personally didn't have a hand in making this thing or whatever, like actually being part of the production. I mean, just take a step back and take a breath. And it's just a movie, it's just a series of movies, and they're good and they're exciting and they're fun to talk about. And I think the last thing I'll say, and I'm sure I've said this in so many words, is like, we have a really tough time talking about the difficult subjects, and having difficult conversations with one another, like by and large, and having nuanced conversations about the things that are like very consequential, to the utmost degree. We have a tough time with that. But now we're having a tough time having nuanced, difficult conversations about movies we like. We can really fix that. Like, that is fixable, because how we feel about art is so inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. And maybe we can take what we learn from having, learning how to have difficult conversations about inconsequential stuff, take some of that and try to apply it to the things that really do matter, just to try to improve discourse, overall. But yeah, the sad state of Scream fandom is, there's a big split right now, and some serious crashing out going on. But I think everything will even out in time. And yeah, I guess once we really get an official word on Scream 8, we're just going to see this whole hype train start just pick up again, right? So I think we'll be okay. And I think, we'll extra be okay if we can talk about the movie and even disagree about the movie and be cool with each other about it, right? So yeah, there we go. That's the sad state of the Scream fandom by Davey Deathray. Okay, let's see what's going on in the chat. I know I got on this, like, I told Erica I wasn't going to talk too much, and I don't even know how long that was. Probably 7 minutes straight of just blah, blah, blah. All right, let me see here. What do we got? Oh my, they have a Broadway version? I did not know. Yes. See, you can take that personally, though, Joe, because I did. I did, I was using your name and everything. Never encountered more aggressive people than I have during Scream talks. It can get really ugly. Horror fans are, there is a sense of entitlement, and I get it. Like, growing up being a fan of punk rock, there's a sense of entitlement there. I think metal probably has it too, where it's like, oh, that band used to be cool 2 albums ago, and now they're just fucking sellouts, and I think we can get that a little bit when it comes to our horror movies that we like and stuff. So, well, passionate people, we can be sweet to each other though, right? Can't we? Can we? Gosh, I hope so. We got Hollywood Lido joining us. What's happening? Lido says, hi, Davey and fellow chatterers. The Scream subreddits are so ugly, very over. Oh my gosh, I'm way too old for Reddit. Every time I look at Reddit for like, what's going to be the Scream Unseen movie? But every time I look at anything on Reddit, I'm like, I don't know how to navigate this. I am so old. Yeah, I bet it's pretty ugly. I've seen ugly stuff all over. It's very bizarre. It is very bizarre. Yes. Lido, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a channel member as well. Let's see here. We got Jen jumping in with a $5 super chat. Says, I was watching the live stream you did on Screams 3 and 4 and had to be a part of your community. Great stream. Thank you so much, Jen. Yeah, we've got a horror movie club going for our channel members. So we just wrapped up the Scream franchise, and it's not, just general movie talk. In a bigger way, it's about the thematic elements of the film. How it, especially within Scream, we did like how each film fits within the franchise, how the thematic elements are repeated throughout the franchise, all that kind of stuff. Channel membership, really fun. $1 a month, something like that. And we're going to be doing Horror Movie Club all year round. I just started it this year, and I plan on keeping it going. So every other week, we're going to meet up and do like in-depth, nerdy talk about, you know, basically treating film like literature, you know, which it is. It's an extent, you know, it's just it's the next evolution or whatever you want to call it. All right, let me see here. Why do you believe what you believe in? Yeah. There you go. You just got to let them unpack it all. Thank you so much again for the $5, Jen. Really do appreciate you. A little bit of a dorkable going on for sure. Yes, absolutely. Let's see here. What else do we got going on? Antonis coming at me hard with this one says, why don't you like it when Detective Bailey makes silly faces at the end of Scream 6 when he's revealed to be one of the 3 killers? I don't like any of those killers in that one, and it is the cartoony stuff. It just doesn't seem, I don't know, it's just a bit too much for my taste, Antonis. And also, like, he's been a homicide detective for however many years, so the idea of, like, you know, all he has to do is take off the mask and now he's acting like a totally different person. I just, you know, it would have seemed more personal, and I think it would have seemed more personal and actually scarier if they had just kept it a little like straighter on after the reveal. The kids can be a little zanier, but I would like it if Detective Bailey were sort of like the stoic, you know, like The Rock. Not the guy The Rock, he's just he's their Rock, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a bit too much for me. That's all, Antonis. And whatever, it's just my taste. Other people might love it, right? That's totally fair as well. All right, let's see what we got going on here. You're adorable when you're mad. Man, the crash outs. It is cringe to me. There you go. You got it. You got it, Antonis. But it's, you know, and again, it does come down to taste, because like Mrs. Loomis and Mickey Altieri from Scream 2, they're pretty cartoony and over the top. I just, for whatever reason, it's like the perfect level of camp that just like hits me. And maybe it hits me because it is just the second movie in the franchise. And oh my God, I know I've already talked about it enough. I can't get into it again, guys. I'm sorry. But the one-liners in the killer reveal for Scream 2 are just amazing. Just amazing stuff. B666 says, went back and rewatched the Terrifier 1, 2, 3. Didn't get the hype, but after the second watch, I enjoyed them. The first and third one are tied for my favorite. Yeah, I'm so lukewarm on those, but the third one is my favorite because it's the most fun-loving of the bunch, if that is a word that can be used or a phrase that can be used to describe Terrifier. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. I'm glad it exists. I don't believe in censorship. People should have their shit and all that. I wish the story were more important, because we're going to get a fourth movie probably in 2027 that is apparently going to close this thing out, and we have maybe gotten like maybe a third of an actual story out of 3 movies. So we'll see. We shall see. I'm going to pull that off there. There we go. We got, what happened here? I wanted to say hi to Ben. Ben, what's happening? Our guy Ben Grimm, one of our great channel members, says hating a movie everyone loves is just so delicious. It is. It can be fun to do that. Yes. I mean, especially if you really can back it up. You know, I'm admittedly a bit of a contrarian. I know, probably a total shocker for about half the people out there, but it's absolutely a part of like my, you know, coming up in punk rock and everything. I just sort of automatically give everything the side eye. Like everything has to like earn its keep. But I do find it a relief when I actually like something that's popular, because then it's like, okay, you know, at least I can see when there is something that like that I deem has got quality that, you know, reaches my taste or whatever. It's not just, oh, it's pop, it's shit. You know, it's like, no, I'll give it a chance, you know, and it's like, if it sucks, then it still sucks, but whatever, Russ, whatever. Let's see here. Jen dropping another $5 super chat, says on March 29th, I'm going to see Melissa Barrera make her Broadway debut in a farce of Titanic called Titanic. She's playing Rose. All right. Is it a musical, or is it just going to be like when you say farce, I totally picture like Airplane or Naked Gun or like Fackham Hall, which by the way, guys, if you did not see Fackham Hall from late 2025. Holy cow, that movie is so funny. I'm very curious. I think Melissa Barrera is an actress that is just getting better and better. So I look forward to seeing her in more stuff. Jigsaw dropping a $5 says, and here is 10 begin again. Thank you so much. Holy cow, you guys are incredibly awesome and supportive. It means the world to me, and it does not go unnoticed. I really do appreciate you guys. So we're going to keep this thing rolling. And having said that, I guess this is a good time to jump back on over to the poll. Thank you guys so much for helping us reach that super chat goal. You guys rock. 34 votes so far. And next up, public domain horror, a rant. Okay. I've talked about this before, but we're going to get into it. Okay, public domain horror, a rant. There you go. Let's see how well I can do this. Just, I don't like rehearse these things. They're just things that I think in my head. They're just conversations I have with myself. Okay, so I've talked about this before, and I don't want to sound like a complete get off my lawn kind of guy here. What I don't understand with these public domain horror films is it seems like these directors are trying to kind of get their foot in the door and start a career, but these movies are so piss poor and bad. They're like porn without the sex scenes. They are that incompetently made, so I don't know what you're proving to whom. And then also, sometimes they are so tangentially connected to these characters that you might as well just make up your own character, and then you have this property that you actually own. I know maybe it's not as recognizable and all of that, but I do think there's still a place, especially in horror, for ingenuity and original IPs that people sort of give a little bit more of a shot. Like when I see public domain horror movies, I'm like, one of these is just hoping to be the one that gets the public eye, like the big public eye, right? How many people in the like how much of the Scream going audience knows about, you know, Blood and Honey? Like they might know that it exists. Have they seen it? Do they know much about it? Do they know more about that world? Probably not very much. So I don't know really what the advantage is. You know, it seems like these people that are making these movies are like, oh, this is how I'm gonna like get noticed, but I don't know who's noticing this stuff. Also, specifically, the Pinocchio trailer that came out the other day, it looked like a little interesting at the beginning. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. So he's like killing these people to like make a fleshy suit for himself or whatever. The way it started the way it started to develop in the trailer, I lost interest by the time the trailer was over. What seemed like kind of an interesting premise for this sort of movie I was like completely uninterested by the end of the trailer. I was like, oh no, it's like Richard Brake yelling Pinocchio in a way that you probably could get a better performance out of Richard Brake, or maybe don't have him do something that cringy. Even, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's got to be a better way to yell or say the name Pinocchio. Anyways, another thing too is I'm sitting there watching it. This is what kind of goes back to my point of why not just create your own IP? Because yeah, I guess this is Pinocchio because Geppetto's there and there's going to be like Jiminy Cricket or whatever. But everything about like this doll that's coming to life that like wants to kill people to like make themselves look more human. You could have just done that with an original character, I think. And you could have added like a supernatural element if you wanted to, beyond just the doll come to life, which is another thing about this trailer. He's literally just putting like, you know, hair and flesh on his body. And like, it would have been cooler if it like fused to him in some sort of supernatural way. And then you actually have like a monster by the end of the movie instead of a wooden doll draped in human flesh, which just like, I'm just going to say looks silly. Anyways, that's, you know, specifically talking about Pinocchio. Those are my gripes with that one, but it made me realize, oh my gosh, a lot of these movies, they probably just could have made movies where they created their own characters and could have done the same kind of stuff that they wanted to do. I don't know. Like, are any of the Popeye movies, are those creating stars? Like, are those people like on to bigger and better things? Maybe they are. or maybe we won't see the fruits of their labor until years down the road. I just don't understand this whole thing. It seems like the ultimate cash grab. It's the new version of found footage. When, 10, 15 years ago, found footage was the way that a filmmaker that had never made a movie could really get noticed. I mean, technically, people are still doing that. There's like the milk and cereal guy that is doing Obsession now. People are still using found footage as that way to get your foot in the door. I feel like the public domain is like the dirty, grimy, gross wannabe version of that. And yeah, I haven't seen any of these movies, but I've seen enough from these trailers and everything else. These just all seem like half-baked, dumb ideas. And again, porno without the sex scenes. So what's the point? And that's the Davey Deathray rant of the day. Okay. Oh, we have fun here, don't we, guys? We have fun here. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm going to scroll up on Biak. Okay, I think I'm all... There we go. There we go. What else do we got here? Holy cow, Hollywood Lido has been a member for 10 months. Oh my gosh, Lido, that is amazing. Guys, I want you to know, because remember the last time Lido was on the channel and it was like a frigging rock and roll concert? You had to like hold the ladies back. I had to actually hold the ladies back because they were like, oh my God, we love Lido and we want Lido back. And I'm like, chopped liver right here. What's the name on the channel again? I guess it's chopped liver. No, we are gonna have Lido back. Last time we talked, A Nightmare on Elm Street and all that kind of fandom and everything, but I'm starting this new series called Franchise Emergency Meeting. And I'm going to bring on a guest and we're going to have an emergency meeting about one of our beloved franchises. And it sounds like we've got it figured out for Lido, but I don't want to say what it is just yet. So I just want to let you guys know plans to have him come on back are in the works. What's happening? We got Mark from Tales from the Shelf jumping on in. How are you doing, Mark? So great to see you, man. Thank you for joining us. Hell yeah. I got to get back with Mark too. The collabs, man, they totally in the last 6 to 9 months just fell by the wayside with me, and I don't have a good reason why. I just don't. I don't know. They remind me of the junk horror I'd rent at the Hollywood Video on the weekend growing up. Most were trash, but I still love them. Like Jack Frost and like Uncle Sam and stuff like that. Those are like fun bad. I don't know. I tried to watch one of these. What was it? I don't know if it was like Shiver Me Timbers or one of those. It was one of the Popeye movies, and it was bad. It was bad. Maybe I just need to have a better sense of humor. Oh, man. Maybe I do. Yeah, that's true. There's a few traumas I like. I find a lot of it to be a little too out there for me, but Full Moon, like I love the kind of there's almost something so like when I go back and watch those Full Moon movies, they seem like almost like kid movies. They're just like, there's something so cutesy about them. I love them. And there are other movies that have, there was one that just came out. It's like a Betty Boop movie. There's a Minnie Mouse movie coming out. And the Betty Boop thing, it's like, what? Like I don't even know how it relates to her character at all. Like the character kind of looks like Betty Boop, but not really. Really, really bizarre. They're just doing them for everyone now. And as soon as it's available, like that's what they're jumping on. Aaron says, in general, it's so shallow to just scoop up a public domain character and then apply generic horror tropes. Why couldn't it have just been a newly created character? Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they're going for that recognition. I think they're missing the fact that it's not giving you much recognition, To me, it's kind of like, look how they ruined this character. Yeah. It is very surface level. Yeah. Most people don't care for a brand new character. Mostly always go to what they already know. Well, and yeah, that's the trick, right, of entertainment, because we do get new icons. But yeah, you have to have something special. Not every new thing is going to become an icon. But yeah, when Scream came out in 96, that was, everyone thought like the age of the slasher was just so tired and done. And we were never going to get We were never going to get something new like that, and we were never going to see the glory days of Michael, Jason, and Freddy. And then Scream hit, and it became, you know, a pop culture phenomenon. So you never know. But yeah, I mean, it's more often than not, movies fall through the cracks, especially slasher kind of movies. But if you have something that's like really creative, it's gonna work. I mean, fuck, they made The Evil Dead in like 81. They debuted it in 81. I think shot from 79 to 80, or 79 to 81. Debuted it in Detroit in 81. It didn't hit theaters until 83. Then they made a sequel 4 years later and had to basically remake their first movie at the beginning of their sequel. And it was, you know, they just stuck to it. They stuck to it. Sam kept on pushing on this original vision that he had. And now he's had some of the greatest success. I mean, coming out of horror to go to a mainstream career, he is one of the biggest success stories we can think of, you know? And so sometimes it pays to have your own idea, like, and to be risky, you know, to be risky. They don't make a horror character. They just make a horrible character. Yes, Jigsaw. Lito drops $4.99 and says, please pour one out for my brother who milled himself okay this evening in 2014. Important for me to keep his memory alive. Cheers, Nathan. Love you, bro. Yes, guys, if you are sipping on one, pour a little bit out. I've got water. Guys, I just hit 7 months of no alcohol yesterday. How about it? So I can't pour one out. Well, here, I can actually. I'll pour one in this cup. There we go. It's just water, though. It's nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Just the good stuff, right? There we go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lito. I appreciate the $5, and cheers to Nathan. Yeah, let's keep on making some good memories, and then you are keeping his memory alive. So how about that? Thank you. You're cool. I was also like, well, maybe he's just censoring it because he didn't want me to say it, because I don't know how the YouTube overlords feel about it. But that's why I was like, I'm just gonna say it as it's written, because maybe Lito's looking out. Let's see what else we got going on here. Nathan was a huge horror fan, so it's perfect to toast him here. What was one of his favorites? That can be our next topic of discussion. That can be our next chat controls the stream. We got Josh McKenna dropping a $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Josh. Really do appreciate you. And he says, I really like Scream 7. I don't think it's the worst movie in the history of cinema like John Campia thinks it is. Campia's review made me laugh with him jumping out of his chair screaming. I couldn't even bring myself to watch it. First off, I don't, like, he's not somebody that I've ever subscribed to or watched anyways. I know who he is. But like somebody that is a mainstream critic that reviews mostly mainstream movies and stuff like that, or maybe I guess he reviews everything. I don't know. That's just not really, you know, my kind of thing or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I certainly saw his reaction, and I saw, as you scroll through Twitter, you know, I could see him jumping out of his chair. I never clicked on it to like hear how annoying he must sound having a total freak out over a movie. And I'll say this, I really liked it quite a bit. It's in the middle of my ranking, Josh, but I still, like, for a franchise as strong as Scream, I think middle of the ranking is pretty good. And who knows, it could move up, it could move down, like, over the years. Like, that's what happens with these movies. They move around. So, you know, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't think John is seen what's the line from Fight Club? Like, you don't know what I've seen, Lou. Like, John, you don't know real bad movies, bro. Like, I grew up watching Mystery Science Theater 3000, and granted, I have a fun time watching them rip into these bad movies. You also have to sit through those movies. So yeah, Scream 7 is not like incompetent and not incompetently made from a technical standpoint. So it's difficult for anyone to call it the worst movie ever made. you can hate a story so much and all that, but if hating the story is what's making it the worst movie ever made, yeah, I don't know. I think you just haven't seen enough movies. But yeah, he looked like I mean, talk about a crash out, just crying, you know, man-child baby, you know, grown-ass guy that does it for a living. Like, it seems like you kind of take it for granted what you do for a living when you're, you know, that much overperforming about how you feel, you know, in regards to Scream 7. But anyways, thank you so much for the tenor, Josh. Really do appreciate you. I'm happy to hear that you enjoyed the movie, and thanks for, you know, giving me a way to like kind of take a shot at John Campea without having to do it unprovoked. How about that? Thank you. All right, let's see what else we got here. Thank you so much, Lito. I really appreciate it, man. It's wild. The months just like keep on, they fly by so quick. They've just like, it just seems like every other you know, every other week I'm looking up and I'm like, oh shit, I'm almost another month in. How about it? Let's see here. Oh yes, I'm still waiting to see from Lito if he's got an answer for me on what Nathan really. Oh, Nathan loved any Craven film. Imagine that, being my brother and all. Okay. Ooh, we should talk about what's a good Craven movie to talk here. I'm so bad with Wes Craven outside of the franchise work. Last House on the Left and The Serpent and the Rainbow might be the only two movies of his outside of A Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream that I've seen. Is that true? There might be another one that I'm just like totally forgetting right now. But yeah, I actually really like Serpent and the Rainbow because I'm interested in all that voodoo zombie shit. So that was pretty cool. And Last House on the Left, oh my God, like that movie and Texas Chainsaw Massacre are just so dirty and gritty and gross and feel so visceral and real. It's amazing that somebody like him that made Last House on the Left ended up, you know, becoming, I would say, like, as far as horror goes, like pretty pop as far as sensibilities go. I'm not saying that he backed off from the gore or anything. I just mean, you know, really reaching that mainstream audience with two different franchises. Because I think Freddy, when he popped, that's about as popular. When he popped, it was about as popular. You know, he just broke through straight to the top. So yeah, it's interesting because Tobe Hooper didn't have that kind of success, and it's at the point where even though, you know, we lost Tobe years ago, people were still talking about it like he didn't even do anything on the Poltergeist, or the first Poltergeist movie, which I don't think is true, but it's the story that's been like largely accepted. You know, and he started out, I just was comparing Tobe to Wes because Tobe did TCM and then struggled to really find that kind of pop connection, whereas Wes doing Last House on the Left, similar to TCM, and then, you know, finding that pop success. Jen drops another super chat, $10. Thank you so much, Jen. It says, I've been asking this a lot in streams. I will preface it by saying that it is partially Sydney's fault, but I do not think that Tatum has what it takes to be a final girl. She had to learn in Scream 7, didn't she? She had to learn on the fly. She was not ready. Sydney did not prepare her daughter. Sydney didn't even want to talk to her daughter about any little bit of, you know, her childhood and even everything she went through, you know, going into adulthood. So yeah, Tatum has to learn on the fly. However, I think one thing that we can be reminded of as fans is that Sydney didn't have what it took in the first movie either. She had to figure it out, right? She's, you know, Tatum in Scream 7 is not all that different as far as the situations they're put in and their capability to perform in those situations. Now, as far as characters go, they're very different because Sydney lost her mother and didn't know about this huge secret in her life. Didn't even know it existed. Now, Tatum still has her mother, knows that there's this huge, at least it's a secret to Sydney, you know, from Tatum, huge secret, but she has to know about it and live with it, and the agony of just wanting to like relate and know your mom a little bit better, and not have to go to the movies or the books or whatever, you know, to actually go to the source and all that stuff. But yeah, Sydney is a flawed mother in Scream 7, and that's okay. Flawed characters are a-okay, especially when it's paid off and when it has a point in the plot, which I think it does pretty heavily in Scream 7. I think they're almost hitting you over the head with it, that she is, it's not that she's a bad mom. She's not a bad mom. She's struggling to connect with her daughter in a really meaningful way when her daughter's 17 years old and trying to figure out who she is. And everyone's telling her that you got to be like this, you got to be like that, or don't be like this, don't do that, don't ask me these questions, just follow me blindly, just all this. It's a very confusing time being a 17-year-old anyway. And Tatum's in the middle of this push-pull thing. I don't hear a lot of people, at least when people speak negatively about the film, really even diving into the possibility that Tatum has a character or an arc. But she does. And yeah, partially Sydney's fault. This franchise has been about the sins of the mother. They're keeping that theme alive, right? Jessica, also a mother. Sins of the mother on her side, you know? It is that, and I like that it is that. Not because I'm like, yeah, fuck the ladies. Like, no, I'm like, yeah, come on, let's fuck. No, it's different, right? It's different. You know, a little bit of, not every franchise needs to be the same or be repetitive. I like what Scream brings that's unique to the table, and I want to see them introduce more things that are unique. But yeah, Tatum has learned a lot of lessons. By Scream 2, Sydney's even more capable. We didn't see her going through a training montage, you know, ever in the franchise or anything like that. So I think it's just as difficult to believe that Tatum can be a final girl as it is to believe that Sydney can become a final girl after that or during that first movie. So yeah, room for growth. Yes. And I think Isabel May was fantastic as a performer, and I want to see more of the character in the franchise. I really do. Oh, Shocker. Yes, Shocker is so much fun. I've seen that. That movie is so much fun. And there's a really cool pop punk band called Horace Pinker that I quite enjoy. Yeah, Shocker is really good fun. Did he direct Wishmaster? I don't think he did. Did he? I thought he produced it, right? I think Howard Berger directed Wishmaster, Jen, from K&B Effects. So K&B worked on that movie, oh my God, they worked their asses off on that movie. Wishmaster, the effects look so good. But I think Howard Berger directed that one. I have not seen Cursed, and I know there's like two different versions of that, or they basically had to like start over on the film and recast a bunch of people. Something crazy happened with that production. I think Skeet Ulrich was originally in it and got fired. Something like that. Yeah. I've not seen that one yet, Ben. It is on my list. There was a stream last week when we were talking about it, and I was like, oh, I got to put that on there. So that is like on my list of stuff to watch pretty soon here. There you go. It's March 8th out there, a little bit ago for the folks in the middle of the country. Gonna wish my little brother a happy birthday. Love you, Braxton. There we go. Happy birthday, Braxton. Oh, Vampire in Brooklyn. I have seen Vampire in Brooklyn. Did not hate it. Didn't love it. Just thought it was a funny little lark, you know? Is Wishmaster Wes Craven directed? Is it? I don't know. I could have sworn it was Howard Berger. Am I just way off? I must be way off on that one. Ooh, embarrassing. Gonna have to stop doing YouTube now if I'm wrong about that. I think part of the narrative / backstory of Scream 8 will be Sydney filling Tatum in even more. Sydney and Mark will get Tatum even more street smart. They could even, you don't even have to show it. You can just say it in a time jump. You know, you could just show them doing a little training together and we can assume that they've done it. But yeah, they could certainly get a little crazier with it if they wanted to. Little Sarah Connor and Sarah Connor Jr., something like that. Oh, let's see here. Zach Harris says Joel the camera guy should have been the second killer instead of Mickey in Scream 2. That is a hot take. Would have been surprising when he leaves. People were finally a smart character. Yeah. I mean, and he's got the same boots, right? I'm not against. I do love Mickey quite a bit. I love Joel as a character, and I wanted him back. He's got 2 of the best lines in the movie in Scream 2. And I dug it, and it was a good red herring. I'm going to give you that one, Zach. Really feeling the red herring on that one, especially because of the shoes. You know, like half of the characters wear these shoes, so it gets kind of tough, especially in the second movie. You're like, why is everyone wearing the same shoes? Were these like, what's going on? Is it like Drowning Mona, where everyone's driving the Yugo cars? Did like everyone on the campus get a free pair of those boots? What happened? What happened with the boots in Scream 2? Tell me. I need to know. Yeah, the what does he say? Make your wish. By the time the second movie comes around, he starts talking really weird. West produced. Okay, I could have sworn it was Burger. Kurtzman, thank you so much, Aaron Click. I knew it was one of those K and B fucks. Kurtzman, okay, thank you so much. Appreciate you on that. Yeah, and I think he did a really good job. I like Wishmaster. I think it's pretty fun. Got a little bit of a sexy vibe going, you know? I like it. Love Curse. Not many like it, but I love its cheeky comedy. Plus Judy Greer, enough said. I love her. She is good. I like her too. Yeah, you guys lose an hour. I don't lose shit. Although I guess I kind of do, because now all you East Coast people are 3 hours ahead of me after tonight. Sorry, friends. We're not even living in the same world at that point, you know? That's true. He did. Yeah. See, but again, he kept in the, you know, he did the porn, kept in the sex stuff. He's not like the public domain people, you know? Well, I mean, when he's like, yes, I got that on film. Like, that is one of the best lines in the movie. And then he says, when he's telling Gail that he's leaving or whatever, and he's like, I'm going to go, what does he say? I'm gonna go somewhere where they're doing something a little more Saved by the Bellish. Like, and does he say something like that? Like, that's a really great line. I mean, Kevin writes all these different characters, and Kevin writes them really well. And they're like quippy, but they still feel like true to the way the camera or the way the characters represented physically on film. Like, it doesn't seem like the same character just with a different skin. Like, I don't know. Really, really good stuff. I noticed, I watched Scream, the first Scream earlier tonight. My parents had never seen it, and my niece has never seen it. She's like 26. I think she'll be 27 this summer. She had never seen it either. And I noticed, I was like, man, they got like in the scene where Sydney's in the bathroom and all the girls are talking shit about her mom and stuff. I was like, man, Kevin like writes these bitchy high school girls really well, you know? Like, seems believable, the kind of gross kind of, you know, kind of girl bullying stuff that it can get really ugly, but it seems so believable the way you wrote it. So hats off to Kevin Williamson. Okay, let me see what else we got here. My parents really liked it, and my niece was like, oh my god, like that was actually really good. I don't know, you know, because it's a little bit older than her, and you know, it's kind of cool watching a movie like the original Scream and watching it with 3 people who had never seen it before, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, you just look at it with a different lens, you know. I'm like, not more critical about it, but definitely like seeing the age. And then I don't know if you guys have noticed it in a lot of those wide shots, there's like distortion on the edges on the original Scream. I don't know if it's the kind of lens they used in the houses, but it's almost like your eyes are trying to adjust. There's something going on the, like, and I'm putting my hands here because it's on like the sides of the screen. And I'm like, wow, for how much shit people talk about the smudgy lens that they use for some of the stuff in Scream 4, I'm like, no one talks about this warped camera, you know, that is, or warped lens that they use in the original Scream. I don't hear many people talking about it. I'm not saying it ruins the movie for me or anything, but it's gotten to the point in my viewings of the film where it feels like my eyes are trying to adjust, and I'm like, oh wow, that's weird. That is weird looking. Jen, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for being a channel member. You rock my socks. I hope you have a great sleep, and we'll see you next time around. I will be live, guys, tomorrow. It's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to do some horror news live. I'm getting back into the live game on the horror news. So I know it's kind of a weird time, 5 o'clock Eastern on a Sunday. Really, I wanted to be there for the, I want to do a weekend stream for our UK audience, or at least to where the UK people can join at a good time for them. So anywho, any crap. Let me see here. What do we got going on? He must have been kicking it there. You know, he must have. The cinematography issue that you're discussing, Daly, is one of the 3 reasons that the original director of photography, I believe it was Mark Irwin, he was fired during filming. Okay. Yeah, because you don't notice it on every shot, but a lot of those interior shots, I notice it. A lot of the interior. I'm not really noticing it where there aren't like walls and corners and stuff. And I don't know if that's what it is. But yeah, it is a little distracting. Once you notice it, you're like, oh no. Have a good one, Joe. Thank you so much for kicking it with us, man. Really do appreciate you. Really do. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Let's see here. I don't know. How much longer do you get? Let's keep this thing rolling. Let me see if I can get another, let me get another poll going, guys, because it doesn't look like you want to play start bench cut. So we're just going to end that poll. Again, you guys rock socks for helping us reach our super chat goal. So we are going to hum along. Let me just find a little something, or if you guys just want to like throw out topics, a film you want to talk about, or I'll just kind of, we'll see what we got. Just you guys in total control here. Well, I mean, I'm pushing the buttons, so how about that? Yeah, I don't know. Should we do a poll? Should we just have you guys say what you want to talk about? Whatever you want to do, let me know. We got Dylan hanging out with us. What's happening, Dylan? Rona, welcome on in. Welcome on in. What do you want to talk about, Dylan? What topic has got you thinking today? I was considering, what was the one I just had pulled up here? Okay. That's, ooh. Most overrated horror icon. Let's talk about that. I think that's a good one. Let me see here. Most overrated. Guys, put in the chat really quick. This obsession with, well, because the idea though, Erica, is to put you guys in control, right? But let's flip it around a little bit. Let's do, let's talk about an overrated horror icon. I want you guys to throw in a little bit. Let me know in the chat what you think, or who you think is an overrated horror icon. Zach says, if you wrote a horror movie, what would be the title and story idea if you have one? I've got a little something I'm working on. Yeah, I've got a few different stories, and the one that I like the most is called Dead Winter. And I guess like quick synopsis is it's a zombie story that takes place in Southeast Alaska, where I grew up. And it's like a Romero style with some Jaws elements and all that kind of fun stuff. When I say Jaws elements, I don't mean that there's any sharks, but there's definitely this sense of, the rich and wealthy and powerful in town taking over and controlling everything. So yeah, that's one of my ideas. I have a fun idea for like a short story that is like, a young socialite woman who doesn't treat everyone, super nice, and she is celebrating like her birthday month. She's going to be like 25, and she's like, birthday month, she's going to do something, one thing a day with her to have to do with her birthday. And then she wakes up the day after her birthday, and she's aged a year for every day that she celebrated. So now she's like, an old, unrecognizable woman to her friends and everything. Little like Tale of Morality, Twilight Zone-y kind of thing. And I probably just call that birthday month. There you go. I gave you two. I gave you two, Zach. How about it? Have him talk about the Spice Girls. I don't have much to say, I guess. I don't even know. Like, I could sing parts of maybe two of their songs that I could give you. I remember liking the redheaded one the most when I was in high school because she was curvy. And I like curvy. So there you go. That's all I got about the Spice Girls, really. Zach says, Davey, I'm currently writing a fun Ghostbusters fan film, and I need a really good villain idea. Man, so I'll tell you what, Zach, I really only fuck with the first two Ghostbusters movies. I have not seen any of the new stuff. I liked the cartoon when I was a kid, the real Ghostbusters. I dug that quite a bit. So yeah, I thought I like the Boogeyman freaked the hell out of me from the cartoon, and live action Boogeyman would be super scary. I'll say that. My ideas are very limited though. Not that I don't enjoy Ghostbusters. I just don't, it's not the sandbox that I like. You know, I don't know it like the way I do other properties, if that makes sense. Michael is the most overrated. Antonis says Michael as well. You guys are breaking my heart. Breaking my heart here. Chucky is the most overrated horror icon. I would kick that little fucker away before he could do shit. I don't find him at all that scary. Yeah, I hear you. And apparently, though, what is he supposed to have the strength? Is he supposed to be like dense like a man? Dense like a man. I don't know if you guys watch She's Scared. Do you guys watch that channel on YouTube? This woman must be in her early to mid 20s. I have such a tough time telling how old people are. Like, once I just know they're younger than me, it's like face blindness. Anyways, I think her name is Caitlin something. She's Scared. I just find her to be like super, she's got a great personality. She's very like chill, natural. What I really like is I get a kick out of seeing like younger people watch older horror movies, and she's going back and doing all this stuff. Anyways, she's been watching, she's watched the first 3 Child's Play movies recently, and they're just really funny, like, reactions to watch. Yeah. And she's got interest, I think, in doing makeup. So she's got like interest in doing something like with film, which I think is cool too. But anyways, I just like her shit. But Michael Myers being overrated. I mean, don't get me wrong. He gets plenty of love. Michael is not underrated. Michael is not underappreciated. Michael isn't underloved. Michael is the fucking, the all-star child. He's the best of the best. But overrated. Holy cow. I'm going to say something controversial. I think, like, Freddy, sometimes, like, people are like, oh, Freddy's better than Michael because he talks. And I'm just like, is that the criteria now? That the criteria is that the killer talks? Come on. Yeah, I know. I'm throwing fucking haymakers here. I know when I say Freddy, and I know who's in the chat. For Lido, who's going to come after me for saying Freddy, it's he says for him it's art. I missed Jamie's comment. Sometimes I just miss stuff. I'm kind of dumb, so I don't know if you picked up on that. I think you have, Erica. I think you have picked up on me being dumb, so we're all good. Art the Clown. Okay, let's talk about that. I think that's interesting. That's an interesting one to talk about. Is art overrated? I don't know. I don't think, as an icon, I don't think so. I think the movies, while I like them, there is a very low ceiling. Like liking Terrifier is like it's like going into the crawl space underneath your house. You're like, okay, yeah, all right. That's like the ceiling that Terrifier, like, okay, this isn't horrible. All right, here we go. I think art is better than the movies. I think Art the Clown is the the movies don't deserve him. The caliber of writing is not up to the quality of how striking and how iconic the character of Art the Clown looks. And I think the movies do a good job of showcasing him as a character. But I don't think the movies are doing a great job of much else, unfortunately. Although I think Lauren Lavera is great, and I think she's good. She would be good in anything. She's such a standout in these movies because so many of the other actors are pretty piss poor. But yeah, Art, I would say the Terrifier movies are overrated. Art the Clown, I kind of like him where he is. See, I can be reasonable, right? I don't want to agree with everything Lido says, but I want to hear why Lido says Art here. And then maybe I surprise some of you people by defending Art the Clown. I don't know. I defended Art the Clown while not really defending the movies. How about that? Am I just a fence-sitting butthole, or, what's going on? I can totally get down. I guess everyone's got their limitations on big, and how big is too big. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know until you see it, feel it, or something else with it. But yeah, I think the hotness exists everywhere. You know what I mean? Jamie says Art is overrated. Zach says punt Chucky like a football. Absolutely. Erica loves Art. Yeah, Erica, honestly, what do you think? Do you think Art and the movies, do you think it's a good match and a good fit? Or do you think Art surpasses the movies? Does that make any sense? I think he does. So many people know what Art the Clown is. They might not have even seen the movie and they know who he is. So that to me says the character's bigger than the movies. Yeah. It's good. I am most definitely not dumb. Well, I'm sort of an idiot, so it's okay. Yeah, it's true. Ooh, you're talking about Ginger? Is that who it was? Ginger, the redheaded one? Just generally not usually a fan of evil clowns. Fair enough. I studied circus clowning for years, so I really don't like to see them portrayed as evil. So it's personal for you. You're like, for years, the street performing clown has been derided and feared, and that time ends. How about that, Lido? A revenge movie about a clown that's sick of clowns being portrayed in a negative light. Oh, fuck. Joker. Sorry. Joker. They already did that one. Oh, that was a really good one. It would have been great if they didn't already do that movie. We could have made that movie. They already did it, those fuckers. Doing an evil clown is tough. I think Art, it's Art works for me, and yeah, Pennywise to a degree. I don't know. Pennywise doesn't really scare me, but whatever. Art the Clown freaks the fuck out of me. I'll say that. Creepy is my favorite horror style. So Art is very creepy in that pizza shop. Yeah. Oh yeah, he is. He's totally creepy. And the fact that he doesn't talk, really does help. I've heard everything about Michael, from he's a strategic genius to childlike being to a shark whose only instinct is to kill. Just think he's a walking stabby mannequin. Well, he does that too. He's very hands-on though. He's stabby, but especially early on, it's a lot of choking as well. He's very personal with the way he does his stuff. I mean, stabbing is personal. Choking is probably even more so. Yeah, strategic genius. I think that's a bit much. I think it's just things just work out in a way for Michael because he has that force of nature thing. So I would say, this is how I describe it, and I'm sure you've heard me describe it this way, Ben, but you didn't list it. When you said you've heard everything, you didn't list the way that I describe him, so I'm going to describe it again. So, it's I don't know how many of you have a Judeo-Christian background, but the way the Bible talks about Jesus, they're Jesus is 100% man and 100% God. And this isn't a theology, I'm not arguing in favor, I'm just saying that's what's represented. So that's impossible, right? I mean, 100% one thing and 100% another thing is just impossible. But it's one of those things. It's like, it's one of the mysteries in that religion. And it's one of these, like, the supernatural and the natural coming together, right? And having faith, right? Okay. So I think in a similar way, Michael is 100% supernatural force of, like, evil, like a force of nature, and then 100% human man. And I think he's both of those at the same time. And that is, again, it creates all this mystery. I don't think he's a strategic genius. I think things work out for him because the force of nature side just makes it so. And then the side of him that's the 100% man or whatever is that curious side, like a child, like turning the deuter into a pincushion in Halloween Kills and just like looking at it and wondering if you're done yet, you know, like, so yeah, stabby mannequin. I think there's something more going on with Michael. It's just that we are never going to know what it is. So there you go, Ben. Have I moved the needle? Oh, you can't, you know, I don't say these things just to try to change anyone's mind or to tell you that you're wrong. I just love having the conversation. I really do. Stabby mannequin. That's what I'm going to call myself. Like, I'll take a picture of myself for Halloween next year and I'll be like, do you guys like my stabby mannequin costume? We got Shoddy joining us. What's happening, Shoddy? Gonna be on Hers channel tomorrow. How about that? I think that's gonna be noon out here for me in the desert. So I guess what, 3 p.m. Eastern, Shoddy? I think so. No, there won't. I don't think there will be. If they do a sequel to The Thing and it is not an like a global catastrophe, like end of the world movie, like the shit's already hit the fan, disaster flick, that's what I would accept as The Thing 2. Because I think if you did a Thing 2, you just really run the risk of basically remaking the original. It should be done on such a grand scale that it feels like a totally different angle to the problem. I think the actor who portrayed Art is really good. Again, I just don't like the whole cliche. Yeah, it is dicey territory because it is also something that seems like cliched. And I think like the way that Art really made it work, that, I mean, they turned him into a mime. So he's a clown. He's also the mime. And then especially once David Howard Thornton took over the role, for whatever reason, he just clicks with that character so well. The mime and facial acting is just, it really grabs people. But I get it, dude. It's like, I certainly, anytime I see a clown killer now in a movie, I'm just like, especially because Art and Pennywise have like lately risen to the top, so it's just sort of like, you're really trying to break through with that one, bud? Fuck. Rough stuff. Art is bigger than the movies, Erica says to me. Yeah, but the movies are also great. I'm a gore lover, though. Yeah. I mean, the gore is so impressive. The storytelling part of it is just not a priority. I totally understand that. It's there in Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3. The story element's there. It's just not as big as it could be. And in the original Terrifier, it's like, there really isn't a story. It is just sort of like a few things happen. Yeah, the fourth movie could be the best one in the franchise. Like, I really believe that because I think they've been getting better. For real. I do. It is low-hanging fruit. It's like the old hag trope, too. That's why I give, like, Zach Kreger a bunch of shit. Because it's just like, oh, another old witch, huh? All right, cool. You really thought about that one, didn't you? Here's a hot take. Leto's Joker is the best Joker, says Erica, and you just like blew up the stream, Erica. I'll say this about Leto's Joker. I don't like it in that Suicide Squad movie because he just is so underutilized. I really didn't like the way that whole movie just played its hand. But Leto's Joker in Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Hopefully, I would imagine maybe most of you have. oh my gosh, Leto's Joker in that cut specifically, when they go to the nightmare vision of the future, I straight up think that's one of the former Robins, because he's got like the yellow gloves on. He calls Batman Bruce instead of calling him like Bats. There's just a couple clues there, but Leto handled it really well. I think the dude gets a lot of shit, and he ain't writing the movies. So yeah, he's making the decision to be in the movies for sure. But even like Tron, people shout all over Tron, and I'm like, but have you seen the other movies? Because that's just kind of what these movies are. Did you think the third Tron movie was going to be something totally different and break the mold and not be like a Disney movie? Because they're all Disney movies. So, yeah. Like, you can hate it, but I'm just like, I'm kind of there for the visuals and the kick-ass soundtrack. And like, I don't care if the story's super simple, because that's how it's always been with Tron. Yeah. Is that weird? Am I wrong? Am I wrong on that one? That's a good hot take, Erica. That's very hot. I'm not going to, I can't do a total freak out, because that I really love the way he played him in Zack Snyder's. Like, I'm so happy that Zack got a chance to direct Jared Leto as Joker. I think that's great. I'm a Nicholson guy, and I'll probably just always be that way, because I saw that movie in the theaters. It made me want to be an actor. It was, you know, one of the movies I've seen the most in my life and all that stuff. So I'm a sucker for that shit. But that's a really good hot take. I like that hot take. And I think he should get another crack at it in a feature-length film where he actually gets to play him. It would be great. It would be great. What would be great? A demon is possessing a guy dressed as a clown. Yeah. Art the Clown? Yeah. Something like that. Well, we don't know. We don't really know exactly what he is. Because by the end of Terrifier 3, it seems like we thought he was the big, or we thought he was like the, you know, the leader or whatever. And by the end of Terrifier 3, you're like, oh shit, he's just like second fiddle to what's her ass, Victoria. The movie's explained art more than people think. This last movie pretty much told his deal, but people still seemed confused. Well, and especially like when I was reading the book, Ben, I was like, oh yeah, they really do tie it a lot more into Sienna's father. A lot more. Than I think the movie, I think the book made it more clear, for sure. Yeah. And the movies, I think they've tried to do with so much runtime, and I get it, show don't tell. They've had so much runtime, they could have probably told us a little bit more. Like, they've never done an exposition dump, and that's totally cool. Like, I don't want the Terrifier movies to be like Mission Impossible, where the entire movie is them telling you what's going to happen and then showing you what's going to happen, and it just rotates through each scene. Definitely don't want that. But a little bit of a lore dive, little splashes of that, I think could have made all of the movies better, for sure. But yeah, they're giving away hints, and they've shown some stuff, but we really don't know. Like, we know there's a pit of hell. We know there's demons that have entered the earth. For them going into a last movie, I feel like there's still a lot shrouded in mystery. But they can pull it off. Maybe if he gets help, he can pull it off. Let's see here. Oh, gotcha. The term clown encompasses all sorts of comedic characters dating back to the Harlequin. There you go. In some ways, I'm a clown. So there you go. There you go. In the first movie, he was just a killer. At the end, he was brought back to life by a demon who took the form of a little clown girl so he could be her avatar. She turns into messed up face. Yeah, she turns into Victoria. Really? So he is not meant to be possessed in the first movie. I always thought he was supposed to be possessed. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not saying I'm the smartest audience member, but I also don't think I'm the dumbest. And I think they could have given us a little bit more in these movies. I think a lot has been left open to interpretation. For something that's so simple, right? That's really just a splatter flick, you know? It is, you know, I didn't want to say it in so many words, but guys, I'm actually starting, it's not a new channel. I'm starting a new church, you know. The Church of Michael Myers of the Blackest Eyes, the Devil's Eyes, will be open on Saturday evenings at midnight Eastern for Late Night with the Davey. Well, and it's funny too, Aaron. I notice like Dracula in a lot of ways is like, there's like Jesus similarities with Dracula as well. You know, resurrection and all that kind of stuff. All that good kind of stuff. Also, weird thing. So the term Lucifer means bringer of light. That's what they call Satan. Then they also call Jesus the bringer of light. And Jesus and Satan are both called the morning star. What the hell's going on here, Bible? Figure your shit out. You got some stuff to fix in the translation, I think, or something. Thank you so much for kicking it with a Zach. Have a good one, man. Yeah, we'll probably go just for a little bit longer, guys. I'll be a little bit quicker on these answers here. Yeah, it is just like Evil Dead can do it however many times they want because it's just something they've always done. But there's times where I'm like, oh man. Did I get a Steam Deck? I don't have a Steam Deck yet, Tia. I will have to get one though to play Halloween when it comes out in September. Yeah. Hey, you might have blown some people's minds. In fact, you know, there we go. Jared Leto, best Joker. And then, oh my gosh. Well, they love it, Erica. They love it. They love it. Oh yeah. For a second there, everyone was like, you know, and they were thinking about, but then they thought about it and it was like, okay, enough of that malarkey. Or maybe you guys like it. I don't know. Did deserve a third chance though after Justice League. Yeah, I love that bit in Justice League. I thought that was like some of the most intriguing shit I've seen. Talking about my Joker. Janie and I cosplay 4 different versions of Joker and Harley. All right. Aaron Click says Dave McCrae says that audiences mostly go to Terrifier movies to see the over-the-top kills, but honestly, I think they do more for art and his antics in general. Yeah, there is a certain group of horror fandom that can only get the Terrifier experience from Terrifier. There aren't really movies that rise to that occasion or have risen to that occasion. And there are those gross like movies that really don't have narratives that are almost like disguising themselves as like snuff kind of stuff or whatever. I'm not interested in watching movies that don't have narratives for whatever reason. I don't care to. So, you know, I only think in the scope of like what I've seen. But yeah, I think art is a huge attraction, and a big part of art is the over-the-top kills. So I hear you. Like, I don't think Dave is necessarily like, I get what he's saying, but I understand what you're saying as well. And I think like the big thing that we can just like put to bed no matter what, whether or not you think art is overrated, like I absolutely think he is an icon at this point. 3 movies by themselves isn't enough. It's the 3 movies and the merchandising and the, you know, I go to a convention and I shit you not, guys. And I'm not saying no one else, like, oh, you guys don't go to conventions and I do. I'm just saying like, I notice it quite a bit. If you've been to horror conventions within the last like 4 years, you've probably noticed it too. Like since Terrifier 2 came out, you know, they're like families dressed as these characters, like parents that bring their kids dressed as like Art and the Pale Little Girl. Or Little Pale Girl, whatever the order is. So, and then, you know, so many people wearing like those Gutter Garbs t-shirts. And so even if they're not cosplaying, there's like just a lot of art out there. Like Art the Clown is all over the horror community, all different ages. groups, groups of people, sizes, colors, whatever. It seems to be pretty ubiquitous that people really enjoy the character. So at this point, I think the thing that makes me laugh about the he's not an icon thing is I just think, maybe the people that feel that way just need to kind of get out of the house and see, like go to a convention, and you probably change your mind. But yeah, the over-the-top kills, and I do agree with Dave, absolutely. Because he calls them splatter flicks, not like a traditional slasher, and I think that's true. There's a little bit of a distinction. I think splatter can still be a slasher flick, but art doesn't operate the way like a typical slasher does either. He doesn't operate like Michael or Jason or Freddy. It is different than your standard slasher. There's not like, I don't know, maybe we'll get a little something different in Terrifier 4. I mean, there is that connection with the final girl. That's like one of the elements that carries over from the slasher. But I feel the splatter vibe because the kills are the marquee. It's art and the kills. And everything else is just window dressing. Yeah. I thought it was like, I just expect a dumb storyline from those movies. They've all been dumb, but not like bad, just it's Disney. Dylan asks, random, but are we supposed to get a new Jeepers Creepers? I saw some stuff out on it. Dylan, I haven't seen anything about that, but you know what? I do have Bloody Disgusting pulled up here. And this is, the chat controls the stream. So let's look up Jeepers Creepers right now on Bloody Disgusting and see if anything's been posted. I'm not saying that they're the only ones. I don't see anything recently. Let me do a little Google search here. New Jeepers Creepers movie. Let's see what it says. So Reborn is the last thing I'm seeing here. So it doesn't look like there's anything new. 2 days ago, there was I'm seeing something on Facebook about a rumor. Jeepers Creepers 5 is reportedly in development as of early 2026, intended to follow the poorly received Reborn. Oh, great. But this is just something that AI is pulling from Reddit. So this doesn't look to be, Dylan, I wouldn't believe any news on, a film that you're looking for news on, a favorite film of yours or franchise. I would believe it once you see it from like, Variety or Hollywood Reporter. And then usually once they've hit those, it'll go to places like Bloody Disgusting and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't see anything official, but it looks like they could be working on one right now. Hot take, Leto is actually my second favorite Joker to portray and cosplay as. Love working with the tattoos into the moment-by-moment emotions, and that grill is super fun to wear, I must admit. It really is. You get to really disappear in that character because that is, probably out of all the Jokers. I mean, they all do a really good job of like kind of covering up. Nicholson looks the most like himself. But yeah, that Leto one really is like, you're not even close to being recognizable. You get full license to do whatever you want behind that makeup, huh, Leto? Or at least that's how it feels probably when you put it on. He did. They used them in a corny, cringy way. I think they could have handled the tattoos a little bit better. There was a lot of try hard with the cool factor in the movie, Julie. And unfortunately, when they did the other Suicide Squad movie, when James Gunn did his, that movie was just draped in, we're so cool, we're doing something so cool, look at us, we're the coolest kids. And the whole time I'm watching that movie, I'm like, fuck, this movie is so stupid and so up its own ass. Yeah, I didn't like either Suicide Squad movie. I think the James Gunn one I liked less. Because I was just like, this fucking movie thinks it's so cool, and I am not feeling the stylization here. It felt very cocky and full of hubris, and I didn't know why. The director said he didn't know he was immortal until the end of the movie. Gotcha. Wow. So Damien wrote the movie but didn't really know? Yeah. I guess that doesn't surprise me. But yeah, they don't... I think it's fair to say, though, Ben, that in the Terrifier movies, they are very subtle with the storytelling, and that the storytelling is, I think, relatively light. You know, all things considered, relatively light. The resurrection, the blood. There's something else. What else am I thinking of? Can't remember. I'm no doctor, but in my opinion, Toby Huss, who played Artie, the strongest man in the world, could be just as good of a Freddy as Robert Englund. Yeah, I mean, he's probably too close in age to have a really long run, but I think Toby Huss is a really good actor. I loved him in Weapons. I really liked him there. Love him in, of course, Adventures of Pete and Pete, Zach, as you say, with Artie, the strongest man in the world. Love him as Crazy Mike in Reno 911. That's another one of his great characters. He also played like the soft serve guy in that one episode of Adventures of Pete and Pete. So yeah. Oh, he plays the Wiz on Seinfeld as well. I'm the Wiz. Yeah, I could see him as Freddy. He might be a little too old to have fun with it for a while, but you know, there you go. I know. Well, and 2 a.m. is 3 a.m., right? Because you're losing an hour. It's fucking crazy. It is fucking crazy. Or no, is it not until 3 that it turns to 4? I don't even know. Yeah. Only in a way, of course, you know, my Catholic youth ministry teachers would be happy that I'm using biblical knowledge to compare Michael Myers to Jesus Christ. Oh, what's happening, bud? Thank you so much for jumping on in, Cruel. Editing a video for about that dude, that is the editing life, man. It eats up time, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay, so it goes from 2 to 3. Okay, I guess I should let you guys go. All you people out there. Oh, Hot Flesh 66, our guy Paul jumping on in, says off topic, and you know what the cool thing is, Paul? No topic is really off topic tonight because this is a chat controls the stream. So I know other times I can be a real stickler, a real big jerk about it, and then I send Erica and Jamie after people. They're not talking about what I want to talk. No, I'm just joking. But they still do that. They still do a great job of that. But yeah, no topic is really off topic here. So here we go. Paul says, I liked Dolly and looking forward to Dolly too. Obsession might be my mystery screening on Monday. Is Obsession coming out that soon? Holy shit. I might have to go see to check that out. I really want to see Obsession. I love everything I'm seeing from it, which isn't much, but it's giving me that kind of Filippo Brothers vibe. And I haven't seen Dolly yet. I like the look, like the 16 millimeter look. I'm getting big time Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, not just from the grain, but also the setup, like the situation that they've set up just from the little bits I've seen. And it sounds like we're going to get a Dolly too. All right. Well, I will have to check it out, Paul. I was hearing such mixed things about Dolly that I didn't run out and watch it this weekend yet. But I'm looking I want to do a double feature. I'm thinking The Bride and Dolly for a double feature. So I'll probably be checking that out here this weekend or early next week. Yeah, we'll keep it going for a little bit. How about it, guys? I told you guys I'd give you that second hour for the super chat goal. So let's just roll for like another 10 minutes. If you guys are cool with that, we'll just see what we can get to. How about it? Yeah, it's been fun, dude. I mean, a lot of times it's, you know, I like to open up the floor to the chat quite a bit, but I figured since this is like a bonus stream for a super chat goal, like let's just like totally let loose. And yeah, you know, I think one of the things Cruel is like, I knew early on when I started going live, I was like, I want to cultivate this live audience, give these people this attention. Like I wanted to create something that was, you know, fun and lively and different here on this channel, and just try to, you know, be better every single time. Just compete with myself. You know what I mean? And it's been great. Okay, there we go. Lito's going to admit it. Art is an icon, just not a fan. Well, there you go. I think that's a very fair way of looking at it. I like that. It shows that you've got understanding, comprehension, and common sense, Lito, which are dying qualities. So you, sir, are a cut above the rest. How about it? Did I use that word the right way? Oh God, I hope I did. Yeah. Davey, may I say, I'm disappointed you don't have an Art the Clown channel member emote here. Shake my head. Okay, we can do that, Erica. I'm sorry. It didn't even occur to me. I didn't know people cared that much. Not about Art the Clown, but about the icons that I've made for the channel members. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. I should take a look at those and update them anyways, because I think the first icon that comes up is like my old logo, so I should update it to a newer logo. And we can do an Art the Clown. Yeah, we could do a little something like that. For example, if the next Terrifier didn't have a big crazy kill scene, skinning scene, yep, the art is as charismatic as usual. I don't think most people would be. No, I don't think they would talk about it. They might still love the movie. But they did do that to themselves, Aaron. Each movie they've had a marquee. So yeah, you might not have to like match the energy. And I don't even like, everyone talks about the bedroom kill, and I'm not saying I don't think it's like shitty or lame or anything like that. Like, I just, I don't know, maybe some of the other kills I think are like just as effective or just as big. Yeah. But yeah, that is a corner they've put themselves in, huh? I think you're right. People would still like the movie. People wouldn't be like, oh, we got totally ripped off. They didn't have anything close to the bedroom kill. But people would be like, oh man, I love the movie so much, and I was waiting for like that big kill. Like, people would say something like that, But yeah, I think, Art is going to have a very successful life, regardless of what happens on the silver screen. But I would imagine he'll be back, sooner rather than later after Terrifier 4. Wouldn't looking something up on Bloody Disgusting be, well, disgusting? Maybe. If it were like rotten.com, then probably. I'd be shocked if there's ever another Jeepers Creepers film. Well, I'm glad that one chat got Rick out. Rick was like, you know what? I was just watching. I wasn't going to be in the chat, and I have to speak up about Jeepers Creepers, which I love. I love it. Even if that's not the truth, it's now the truth in my head, Rick. And the first truth that you hear is just the truth, right? No, I'm just joking. Rick says, I'd be shocked if there's another Jeepers Creepers film, considering how poorly the previous films have gone over. Yeah, the first movie did well? Did the second movie even do well enough to really garner any more attention? Is this even like, I just feel like it's such a bottom of the barrel. Like, I never think of this franchise. It never occurs to me. I don't know. The first movie, I like to call it Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a bug man, is basically the first movie. So I'm just like, if that's how I can sum up your movie, then I am like ready to move on after chapter 1. Yeah, I don't need any more. But I will quote Jamie Hart. I saw that in the theater. There you go. We got Nightmare Files jumping on in. What's happening, Nightmare? Hope you're doing well. Happy weekend. Hope you're having a great time. We are not talking Scream at the moment, so how about it? Ben Grimm says, I think Caleb Landry Jones would make a great Freddy, and I think you are right. I don't know if you're the person who brought him up in 2025 when we discussed it on a live stream. Of course, Duder that played Vecna in Stranger Things. I think he could do a great job. It might be a little too obvious on the nose, or for him treading familiar territory to jump into something like Freddy, but I think he could do it. And he's like the perfect age to have a really good run. Caleb Landry Jones is a little bit older. Yeah. He just played Dracula in Luc Besson's Dracula film. He's got a great Freddy look. Yeah, I mean, I hear a lot of suggestions, Ben, and I'm sure you see them all over the place as a horror fan. A lot of suggestions for Freddy, that people that are just almost as old as Robert Englund. And like, we don't want, this isn't like replacing the president where you're just like, let's put another old fart in there. Like, no. We need somebody like Robert was 36 when he played Freddy the first time. So if we could get somebody that's like no older than like early to mid 40s, right? We would, because wouldn't you want, let's say everything got figured out with the Nightmare on Elm Street, and let's say tomorrow we get an announcement from the Craven Estate and New Line and everything, and they're like, hey, we are working on something, and we will have a new Nightmare on Elm Street film by the end of 2027. You know, like, who would they hire? And then how long of a run do we want them to have? We want them to at least be able to do like 3 movies, right? So let's think at least 3. If those do well, 3, but you would want them available for 5 movies just in case. So you want somebody that could play this role for like the next 15 years. Something like that. So they need to be an age where it's viable. That's all I think of. And yeah, Caleb Landry Jones, great. I can never remember the mixture. Yeah, Jamie Bauer. Jamie whatever Bauer. He's got like 3. He's a 3-name guy. He would be really good. Jared Bankins is one that I've been talking about since almost my first video on YouTube. Go all the way back to the beginning, and I was talking about Jared Bankins, who was in season 1 of Twisted Metal, and I think he has a great look for Freddy, and he's an unknown. I think that's huge too. I think Jamie Bauer is maybe a little too much of a known because of Stranger Things, although he's great. Caleb Landry Jones is in that really nice spot, Ben. I don't think a lot of people know him by name. If you're like, oh, he played Banshee in X-Men First Class, like, now that's a pretty like far, you know, member berry to bring back. So yeah, I dig it. I just don't want it to be a star, guys. Like, the last thing I want when I sit down and watch Freddy is to be like, oh, I've seen that guy in like fucking 10 movies. I know all about his personal life. You know, just like all this stuff that's just like, Robert wasn't that. Robert became a star because of Freddy. Let's do that. Let's do that again. You know what I mean? It would be so cool to have that connection there. Yes. The characters are very similar. So yeah, there's that too. But oh my God, can you imagine how many people would be there? Can you imagine what if the movie looked like pretty good and decent, and you had the guy that played Vecna playing Freddy, just the fandom that he would bring alone, you know, being a sexy dude and having been in Stranger Things. Like, we're talking a massive opening weekend, just those 2 things. Can't trust a psychiatrist from a random mental hospital in the middle of Ohio to determine who is the embodiment of evil. Are you talking about Michael? Are you still going on about Michael, Ben? Yeah, it would be great. Oh, his voice is really good too. Yeah, guys, on YouTube, you can listen to his unaffected voice, like him just recording those lines. They put a little something on there, but it is really incredible to hear how little effects work they have to do on his voice. Because yeah, Jamie Bauer that might be the most surprising or impressive thing that I found out about him, you know, jumping back into Stranger Things, is I was like, dude, I really respect this guy. Like, he plays a really great villain, which I think is super tough, and that vocal work is super, super impressive. Yeah. And hopefully he would do something different with Freddy. It would be cool, you know. I always say this, I want them to take chances. But I think it'd be cool to go back to a little bit of a Freddy feel and look that we had with Robert, to try to capture that vibe, but try to capture it from like the first movie kind of vibe. I would like that. Yes, I used ubiquitous the right way. Holy cow, Paul is dropping a $10 super sticker. I didn't even know you could do $10 super stickers. Oh my God, I have to go over to YouTube to look at it, Paul. It is this cute, I'm sure you guys can see it. It's this pear-shaped fellow with like a little, it's almost like he's got a little mint leaf on top of his head. Now he's wearing the sweatband a la Luke Wilson from Royal Tenenbaums. He is jumping up and down, or she, I don't know. I can't see any bits between the legs, so maybe it's just an it. Number 1 fan. Thank you so much, Paul. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, you know, since there weren't any words there, hopefully me describing this thing that everyone can see, that I don't need to describe, was somehow worth the $10. There you go. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate the support. All of you guys, I know I keep on saying it. I am completely blown away at the generosity. You guys have been amazing. And it drives me and makes me want to do not only do even more streams, but it really makes me want to make sure that like I'm not just doing the same thing every time I get up here. I know a lot of times we talk about random stuff. I know that. But like we're trying some new stuff. If you guys haven't seen on the page, there's a spot where you can vote for your topic. We're going to do like this courtroom, like a horror courtroom. And what's really fun is look at that poll. I think it's Halloween Resurrection is criminal, Sidney Prescott's overrated, and the Friday the 13th franchise is lost. And the cool thing is, whether or not you want to defend or prosecute that side, you can still vote on the side that you're most passionate about, because you guys will decide who prosecutes and who defends. So it looks like I'm going to be defending Halloween Resurrection while you guys are telling me how terrible it is. In the courtroom stream, I'm going to have to defend this movie. So little stuff like that. Like, it should be fun to do a little something like that. Or I'm putting together a stream that's going to be your hot takes that I actually agree with, which should be pretty fun. So, jump on over to the page, drop your little hot take in there. Erica's hot take is fucking spicy. Might break the internet if she drops it over there. If anyone, followed me, it would break the internet. But yeah, we got some fun stuff coming up, and I just want to acknowledge and show my appreciation for everything you guys are doing, and just let you know that it's driving me to keep this thing creative and engaging and all that good stuff. Keep you guys coming back and keep you guys happy. Davey, not to be morose, but what 3 musicians will you be most sad about when they pass? Morose as fuck, Aaron. Let me hit this pen and really get into it. Fat Mike from NoFX. That one's going to be really tough. Who knows? I might go before him, right? He's a big one. No, I think NoFX, Aaron, I'm sure I've said this when you've been around. I know we're both punk rock guys. Excuse me. I think NoFX is the greatest punk rock band of all time. I'm not saying like they overshadow everyone. It's just what they were able to accomplish as a band, what they were able to like bring to punk rock, the way they were able to like shine a brighter light on punk rock without, I don't think they compromised things to a degree to where it was like selling out or, anything like that. But I think more people are aware of it, but punk rock is still something that like has to find you, or something that you have to choose. It's a very niche kind of thing, like horror. So I'll be bummed out when Fat Mike goes. I love his songwriting as well. I'm trying to think of who else, like Dan Yeeman from Paint It Black and Lifetime and Kid Dynamite. He's one of my favorite, musicians and all that. And here, I'll just say this because I just met him. Well, I met him for the second time last night. Let me actually bring the picture up. I'm just going to say the greatest living drummer in the world, Josh Freese. Josh Freese he's touring with 9 Inch Nails right now, but I know him from the Vandals. That's the band that he came up in. But Josh Freese has played with, I'm not even going to name, I can't even name all of them. I'll just name the ones that I think you guys would know. So Josh has toured and recorded with bands like A Perfect Circle, Mars Volta, Sting, Weezer, Foo Fighters. I'm sure there's some other really big ones that I'm totally missing. But yeah, I got to see him last night with 9 Inch Nails, and it was the third time I've seen him. I saw him with the Vandals first. I saw him with there you can see the picture's tiny there. We'll switch to a bigger shot. Seen him with the Vandals. I saw him with Weezer at Bumbershoot, which was wild. Rivers was like not even playing guitar most of the time and running around. It was crazy to see Rivers Cuomo having fun, because usually he looks like he is bored out of his mind. Well, not bored, but just reserved. Anyways, and so I got to hang out with Josh Freese again last night. Let me see. Will this do the trick? There we go. That's close enough for right now. I don't need to adjust everything. But that's me and Josh Freese backstage at the 9 Inch Nails show. I didn't even get into the 9 Inch Nails story. Maybe I need to record my own little thing. But last night, my friend Siobhan, who was a tour manager for years and years, she's known Josh Freese for 25 years. We got seats that were very, very close, like row G. They were like right there. I got my guest pass and everything. They took us to the back. This green room that we're in here, you know, like fridge with drinks, like snacks. There's a pool table. There's like darts. It was a, you know, nice little room, cushy chairs everywhere. And so it was cool because I got to shake Josh's hand and be like, hey, I met you back in, I was like, I met you in, where did I say? In 1999. And he was like, whoa. He was like, where was that? And I was like, it was the Kingdome parking lot in Seattle for Warp Tour. And I told him the whole story. I was like, I remember it because you were dressed like an old-timey golfer. He had like an Argyle sweater vest on and like the hat and like the little high water like pantaloons, like a cartoon character of somebody that plays golf, you know, old-timey. And I'll never forget that. You know, Joe Escalante from the Vandals, my buddy and I, Dave Johnson, were on a road trip. He was looking at colleges. It was in between junior and senior year. And we were like, we are going to get backstage at Warp Tour. We were determined to get back there. I saw Joe Escalante, who's the bassist from the Vandals, was like, Joe, waved him down. We ran up. We were like, you know, we're just like two kids from Alaska. We're like 17 years old or whatever. Like, we just wanted to meet. Like, my buddy Dave was obsessed with Blink 182 at the time. Like, I liked them, but I was like a Dude Ranch fan, and he was more of like an Enema of the State guy. You know what I mean? A house divided, I know. A friendship divided by 2 albums. But so he was really pumped about that, and I just wanted to like meet whoever. So Joe was like, I'll take you back to the barbecue. He's like, have you met Josh? And we're like, no, we haven't met Josh. And he's like, oh, I'll introduce you to Josh. So he introduces us to Josh, and then he's like, oh, you wanted to meet Mark Hoppus? And my buddy Dave is like, oh my God, I want to meet Mark Hoppus. And we go over to the barbecue line, and Mark Hoppus is waiting to get a hot dog. And we go up and start talking to Mark Hoppus. And I just remember his voice. You know, he's got that like, hey, how's it going? He's got like this deep voice like that. Hey, how's it going? Just very chill. Hey, yeah, that was, and I don't even remember really what we talked about, because I was probably still processing meeting Josh Freese and Joe Escalante from the Vandals, because the Vandals, like, that's more my vibe. Like, I like Blink and all that stuff, but I'm more of the wacky kind of technical side of punk, I guess. But anyways, there's me with Josh Freese. Super awesome. Oh, he played for Guns N' Roses for years. I'm sure you guys are dropping names in the chat, because I think he's a relatively well-known drummer. I mean, it's probably the most successful musician to like come out of punk rock as far as all the albums that he's contributed on. And like Duder, if you look up his credits, it's fucking crazy. And I'll show you guys. You guys want to see a couple pictures of 9 Inch Nails? Like, let's show you some shit. Maybe something like that. There we go. I can be a little bit smaller. How about I do? There we go. There we are. Close enough, right? So there's a little shot of them there. So we're pretty close. And yeah, they had like this at the beginning of the show. It was like this like invisible layers of curtains, and they were at times projecting stuff onto the curtains. So sometimes it looked like the stage had like atmosphere. It was very, very interesting. Visually stunning show. I don't know too much of the 9 Inch Nails catalog, but I was surprised at how many like upbeat kind of rippers they had, especially at the beginning. Like, Trent came out and did like a song on the piano by himself. They did some of that synth stuff on a smaller stage, but once they were on the big stage here, like they were ripping it. They were ripping it. Let's see what else we got here. I'll just show you guys one more. How about it? There we go. A little bit of a different, I mean, same angle, just a little bit of a different look. So there you are. Just a little 9 Inch Nails action. No big deal. No big deal. Yeah, it was a great show. It was a lot of fun. I didn't anticipate it. It was 6 p.m. Siobhan reached out to me. She's like, I got a guest list. I know 9 Inch Nails. I know their drummer. And she sends me a screenshot, and I'm like, it's Josh Freese. I'm like, she knows that I'm a punk rock guy. And I'm like, oh, their drummer? I was like, he's our drummer, is what I said. But yeah, what a fun night. Didn't expect it to happen, and there we go. Never expected to see 9 Inch Nails in concert. So, but they were fucking pretty killer. And there's one more shot of Dorcas, Davey, Deathray wearing my Evil Dead shit at the 9 Inch Nails show. All right, enough of that, right? Is that enough of that? Is that the right one? There we go. And I'll do that. There we are. We're back to normal. Hey yo. It sure does. It sure does when you're talking all sorts of stuff. Yeah, you know what? It's popped up a couple times. I've tried to keep it really brief. Because yeah, I mean, I don't even know how much I have to say. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Freddy actor has to have that kind of charming, but also too creepy. Yeah, I think so. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Unknown or just like small, small enough to where they really haven't popped. Yeah. Oh, wow. Twin Peaks mention. I did not know, but he's got the look because Caleb Landry Jones, there is something unsettling about his look. Like he's not as pretty as Jamie Bowers, and Jamie Bowers can look intimidating. But Caleb Landry Jones, there's something like sinister that just seems to be naturally a part of like what he can do, his look. All right, let's see here. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But he got to, no one knew who he was. Like he was on the VTV series, but he played such a small role before stepping into Freddy Krueger. It is a tougher thing to do to like find somebody that doesn't have that presence for sure. Because even Jared Bankins has like a really active Instagram and all that stuff. He's an active, performer and everything. He just hasn't hit that role like something like Stranger Things or, even Caleb Landry Jones being an X-Men. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think it would have been the same as far as like his level of fame going into the role. I guess that's the only distinction I'm trying to make. And I'm not against, like, if you told me that Jamie Bowers was going to play Freddy tomorrow or right now, I would be like, fucking hey, let's go. I'm not saying I would be against it. I'm just saying I can understand if it doesn't work out because it seems like so obvious and almost like too good to be true, I think it might be one of those things. But, oh my God, it would be amazing for the franchise. It really would be amazing for the franchise. Well, it is a pear, but it's got this weird color. It's like bubblegum ice cream color. I want to call it a pear, but it's just not, it's not that kind of green, It's not that kind of green. He is a bit of a character. Yeah. I've been fortunate enough to meet him and have good interactions. I'll say that. Like, yeah, I mean, he's brash, he's abrasive, he's a really busy, very successful guy, and I think a lot of busy, successful people might come off that way when you're trying to fan out over him. But I know I've had good interactions with Fat Mike at different times in my life at various shows, and just been able to like bump into him through happenstance pretty much. I've been fortunate in that way. And growing up in Alaska, I never thought I would meet any of these guys. I daydreamed about it all the time. It's amazing to be able to have the experiences that I've had. And I got to get up to Vegas. I have a new car. I have to get up to Vegas and check out that punk museum too. Yeah. Yeah, he's incredible. Really good. Yeah, physical ticket, bro. Physical ticket. Oh my God, they sure are, man. I love the Vandals so much. I listened to The Quickening on the drive home because I love how dirty that album sounds. I mean, the songs are great, but there's something about some of the guitar tones where I'm just like, ooh, this sounds like so. It's like Warren was like, I want the worst guitar tone on this song, but I like the way it sounds because I just like that gritty ass shit. Okay, guys, let's see here. He'd have blown up before the first Freddy movie. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I guess if you were like part of a show like V, you might be known a little bit better. But yeah, Robert did have a pretty, before Freddy kind of put him out there, like, I don't think he definitely didn't do anything to the degree of Stranger Things. Yeah. And then I even think like poor Robert, when I see other movies, I'm like, man, he was a really good performer and he just wasn't used in other genres of film. And it really is a shame. It's not even me like caping for somebody that's in the horror sphere just cause, like, I don't feel any obligation to be like, oh my God, Robert Englund, but I seriously watch his performances out of the makeup, something like Wishmaster, and I'm like, man, it would have been really cool if Robert got to be in just some more movies that were outside of that genre sphere. I think obviously as like a stage guy, he had a lot to give. And I just don't know if he was able to give every little thing that he could have just due to opportunity. Dude, the Siobhan, she's like, this is like my 48th time seeing them. I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Tia. Oh my God. Yeah, man, I was very impressed. I did not know that I've heard the songs from the studio. I didn't know that Trent sounded so much like Elvis Costello when he sings. And I'm a huge Elvis Costello fan. In fact, Aaron, that's another musician. I'm just going to add a fourth. When Elvis goes, I'm going to have a really tough time because he's one of my favorites, especially as far as like pop musicians go. And I didn't know that because Trent came out, it was just him and a piano, and he was singing this really solemn number. And he had this soulful, warm kind of voice with that little bit of dirt on it. And I was like, oh my God, he sounds so much like Elvis. I leaned over to Siobhan. I was like, Elvis Costello, that's like one of my favorites. And I had no idea that Trent sounds so much like him. So this experience sort of transformed the way that I look at the band. Like I always thought of them as like mid-tempo industrial pop, like still tough and still gritty and like, saying fuck and shit in their pop songs, which is awesome. I love that. But I didn't think they were going to have like rippers. There were some songs that I would dare say the first two songs they played as a full band were like barn burners, like shuffle beats on the snare. And I was like, oh my God, it's like bluegrassy infused with what Josh was doing on the drums. Anyways, it was really fun. Nine Inch Nails was a blast. And I had a lovely, lovely night. And it didn't cost me anything except for my time and gas money because I got around paying for parking. Guys, I'm going to let you know, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what I did. I roll up to the parking lot, fucking $39 to park for Nine Inch Nails. $39. And once I was in the arena and I looked around, I was like, oh my God, like if a quarter to half of these people spent $40 on parking, that's like wild how much money they made. Anyway, there's an AMC right near the place where I went and saw the concert, and I'm an A-list member, so I parked behind the AMC. They still wanted my $40, and I went up to the attendant and I was like, guys, I'm an A-list member. I'm gonna go check out a couple movies. I gotta pay $40 for parking, and they're like, no, go to the AMC and give them your license plate number. So with the AMC, they have a little iPad. Punched in my license plate number, boom, 4 hours free parking. You just those moments where you beat the system, even in the littlest of ways, you feel good about it. You feel good about it. So there you go. I do believe in trying to break a law, at least one law every day, as long as it doesn't violate the rights of another person. Guys, that's really important. Break a law every day as long as it doesn't violate the rights of another person. It's fun. We owe it. We owe it to our republic to do that kind of shit. Anyways, Jamie says David Lynch was really good friends with Trent Reznor. Wow, I did not know that. They worked together on Lost Highway, and David Lynch's Industrial Symphony inspired Nine Inch Nails sound. Man, I had no idea. Makes me want to dive into some sort of interview or something where I can hear Trent or somebody talking about that. So that is very interesting. Wow, I had no idea. But I guess it makes sense. They've both got that dark, enigmatic kind of thing going on. And I think a lot of people forget about the David Lynch, like the musical side of David Lynch, right? Is that fair to say, Jamie? Probably not the hardcore Lynchian folks, like, the big time fans, but I just mean the general public that knows him as a director. Like, do they even know about the musical side? And I certainly don't think about it as much as I should. But I know as I watch more of his work, I'm sure I'll appreciate more of that. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna grab this one last one here. Hollywood Lido says, speaking of David Lynch, Jenny and I saw him at LAX in 2016. That was crazy. We were drinking mimosas in a bar, and he was seated at a table with a friend drinking. I kept on looking over at him, and we're waiting for part two. Bated breath, Lido. Come on. I mean, I type 130 words a minute. I don't know about you. There we go. I'm just fucking with you, dude. Looking over at him, trying to figure out if it was him. And after about 30 minutes, he had been noticing me, and he turned and looked at me and nodded and smiled. Well, there you go. You got confirmation. Confirmation. That's pretty awesome. I mean, his hair has got to be, put that hair in a silhouette and it's him, right? That's pretty awesome, Lido. That is a good story. Well worth the bated breath wait. People definitely don't generally know that Lynch was an all-around artist, music, movies, painting, books. He was always catching that big fish. Yeah. Blessed to have lived a life in pursuit of the arts, It is that's a tough life to live successfully in a financial sense, right? And how amazing it must be to create art as not only a means of expression, but just as a way of life as well. Pretty amazing. Pretty awesome. And he's been gone just for over a year, huh? Man, left a lot to go through. That's for sure. All right, guys, it's been almost 2.5 hours. And this has been awesome. You all have been rocking. I noticed I've seen people are falling asleep. I totally get it. We're losing folks, and that's totally natural. We're going to get to that point of every stream. Admittedly, I said we were going to go 2 hours, and we're at 2 hours 22. So that's on me. But it was fun to tell you guys about the 9 Inch Nails experience and just to hang out a little more intimate hangout with a smaller group. How about it? But that is going to wrap it up for this stream. Don't worry, if you need more, if you have to have more, I am going to cover horror movie news tomorrow. It's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to, every weekend, I don't know if it's going to be Sunday every time, but I want to do a stream that works for the people out in the UK. So that's why we're kind of getting the middle of the day thing for us folks in the US. So yeah, we're going to be covering some horror movie news. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff to go over and talk about. And then, yeah, we'll see if we get into some random chat after that. But that is going to wrap it up for this one. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much to everyone who has a membership or purchased a super chat. We have 17. I'm going to run through these really quick. Look at that. Jigsaw for 2, Jigsaw for 2, Erica for 2, Gorehound for 10, Antonis has been a member for 11 months, Jigsaw for 2, Media Poop Shoot for 2, Antonis for 5, Nia's been a channel member, Nina has been a channel member for 4 months, Jen dropping a $5, Jen with another $5, Jigsaw with a $5, Lido celebrating 10 months of membership and dropping a $5, Josh McKenna dropping a $9.99, Jen dropping a 10, and Paul dropping that sweet jumping pear super sticker for another 10. God damn, you guys are so incredibly giving and kind and awesome to spend your time, stay up, spend money. It does not go unnoticed, guys. It is such a blast hanging out with you every single time. We're gonna have a lot of fun here in 2026. It's just gonna get better and more kick-ass. So get ready for that. The things that work and the things that click with you and that you love, let me know you love them by hitting the like button, jumping into the comments, hyping the stream, all that kind of stuff. And it just helps me curate a schedule and streams that I know you guys are just going to have a blast with. So anything you can do to contribute with that is very much appreciated. And you guys are awesome. That is going to wrap it up here for me this time. I love you all. You're absolutely incredible. From the Patreon members to the YouTube channel members to the Death Squad mods to the folks that maybe this was your first time hanging out. Don't worry. I will be back because until next time, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.